What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here, bringing you another Duel Masters video. Just want to give a shout out to CBH for the guest upload on Wednesday. Really appreciate the help. And now that my schedule is looking a little less busy than it was this week, I should be able to get back to regular uploads. And then in about 2 weeks, we'll have video duels for you guys. So yeah, for now though, I've got another profile for you. Today we're going to be going over Aggro, and in particular my Zephyrfish Aggro. It's a deck type I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite decks to use. Um, I've always liked the idea of being able to rush, which is my favorite playstyle, just being aggressive, but also containing control of your hand in the field at that same aspect. I mean, with rush, you're looking at, dropping 3 or 4 creatures on the field by turn 4, trying to win the game, and if you don't, you're done. The other deck usually takes control of the board, but with aggro, you can keep that constant pressure on the field at all times. So, let's go over the list. We're going to look at water first, and like I was saying with control last time, you've got your backbone, which is your Hulcus Stream Surfer. Hulcus for the body, for the draw power. Energy Stream for the +2, just to replace itself in hand and keep a hand and pretty much get you back in the game whenever you need to. And then Surfer is my anti-rush, just is a good spot removal for the time being, and really just puts a thorn in the side of the opponent, especially since being as aggressive as a deck as this is, this spot removal can really be useful in terms of bouncing a blocker or just getting a big threat out of the way that the deck normally wouldn't have a way of dealing with. And our last water card, which is the key to the deck, is 3 Zephyrfish. Zephyrfish is 4 mana, 3000 power, and has the same effect as Thrashcaller, where when you put it in the battle zone, you return a card from your mana zone to your hand. So he's great for cycling everything out. This deck also runs Soulswap, which we'll get to later, and as you saw in CVH's vid on Wednesday. But he lets you return one card in particular back to your hand that can be very useful in swinging for the game. Zephyrfish is also unblockable, which means blockers can't block it when it attacks. So we'll get to why that's useful a little later. Now we'll get into the Fire Civilization. 4 Twin-cannon Skyterror, 7 mana, 7000 power, double breaker, and a speed attacker, which means you summon him, he doesn't have summoning sickness. Twin-cannon is my go-to big card. I mean, he's the most powerful card in the deck, and he usually puts the final nail in the coffin. When I'm swinging for game, it's usually after I've summoned Twin-cannon Skyterror. Our next fire card, 2 Kooc Pollon. He provides a 2 mana, 2 drop, and 1000 power, and his ability is that he can't be attacked. So while he's on the field, the opponent has to use a removal spell to get rid of him, or he has to be blocked and destroyed that way. But otherwise, he cannot be attacked, so other creatures can't get rid of him while he's on the board, making him very useful in keeping field presence and just keeping that pressure on the board that you need to keep at all times with an aggro deck. The next fire cards are Phantom's Dragonflame and Meteosaur. This is really my anti-rush tech for aggro, since aggro decks usually don't run blockers and have a very difficult time dealing with rush decks. Usually because the only shield triggers they play are Soulswap and Aqua Surfer. This is my answer to rush. Meteosaur, same effect as Phantom Dragonflame. Phantom Dragonflame destroys a creature with 2000 power or less. Meteosaur, when he's played into the battlefield, destroys one creature with power 2000 or less. Meteosaur is really great because if I can get myself up to 4 mana and the opponent attacks one of my soul swaps, if I have a creature on the board, I can soul swap that out for a Meteosaur and kill the creature that way, instead of having to use soul swap to swap out one of their monsters and them still keeping a monster. Even though, like, using soul swap to stop set attack, you could bring out Meteosaur and just kill it that way. So, my anti-rush tech for the deck. So far it's been working out. If you guys have any other suggestions, I'd love to hear them, but this seems to be the best in terms of just easy, and it's really synergetic with the deck. Meteosaur also gets rid of other small threats like Aqua Hulcus and stuff that could kill monsters early in the game and stop me from being able to swing at shields. final fire card is Supersonic Jet Pack. Now that's what I was talking about with Zephyrfish. Basically, if I can get the opponent down to 0 shields at any time in the duel, the minute I top a Zephyrfish or top a Soulswap and have a monster on the field, I win the game. No matter how many blockers, no matter what they have on their side of the field, since Zephyrfish is unblockable, when I summon Zephyrfish, return a card from my mana zone to my hand, if Supersonic Jetpack's in my mana zone, I return the Jetpack, tap 1 fire mana, make Zephyrfish a speed attacker, and swing for game. Which is the main idea with this deck. I want to get small creatures on the board early, keep the pressure on, and do whatever I can to get the opponent to no shields. And then once they're at no shields, the minute I have Zephyrfish, I have game. So it's pretty much like a ticking time bomb. The opponent has to beat me before I get them down to no shields on top of Zephyrfish. And I mean, sure, this is a great win condition, but the deck really does a great job on its own anyways. This just adds an extra little bit of, I guess, pizzazz and spark to the deck that it wouldn't have normally if I didn't have it and I was able to get them down to no shields and then they took control of the duel. So Zephyrfish provides that extra little security and sealing the game for me if I can get him out. Finally, we'll get to nature. It's 2 poisonous mushrooms, provides another 2-drop for the deck, something I can get out on the field early. He has 1,000 power, and when you put him into the battle zone, take a card from your hand and put it in your mana zone. So he's really good for mana excel. The point behind this deck is really to get yourself up to 6 or 7 mana really early, like usually by turn 4 or 5, so you can start dropping Twin-cannon and putting a lot more pressure on the board than you would, say, at turn 7 when your opponent's at 7 mana as well and can deal with your threats. So he's great for excel. I'm actually considering swapping him out for Quixotic Hero Swinestown just because I might want the power earlier in the duel versus later with a Poisonous Mushroom. But we'll see. So far, Mushroom's been working out, but I'm probably going to wind up testing Quixotic and Mushroom when I have the chance in about 2 weeks when we get the video duels out, so you'll probably see the deck with either or, as well as probably other few changes. Next nature card is 3 Bronze Arm Tribe. I was running 4, but in order to keep the deck's total down, it's 44 cards, and I try to keep most of my rush aggro decks at that amount, just for consistency purposes. But Bronze Arm Tribe, I mean, he's a great card early. Almost always the card that I want to play 3rd turn. But 3 mana, 1,000 power. When you put him into the battle zone, put a creature from your, or put a card from the top of your deck into your mana zone. Again, working with that mana excel, and he works great with Windax. Turn 2, go Gonta, turn 3, Bronze Arm Tribe. Get yourself to 4 mana, then draw on your 4th turn, you're at 5 mana, drop Windax, and then on your 5th turn, you draw, and use the mana, you're at 7, you can play Twin-cannon at that point. So it's a nice little progression that the aggro decks take on with them, and Bronze Arm Tribe adds to that consistency for it. I like 4, but so far 3 is working. I mean, late game, you really don't want to top deck or see this guy too much. He's good Soulswap bait, but again, any card can be Soulswap bait, so I'd rather have a useful card than something not as useful. But Bronze Arm Tribe does the job for the deck, and I like him at 3. So. And finally, the crux to this deck, Soulswap. Lets me pretty much cycle out Windaxes, Surfers, bring out Twin-cannon for the game, and I mean for 3 mana, it's great. Like play Aqua Hulcus, draw a card, activate Soulswap, swaps the Hulcus with the Twin-cannon, you pretty much +1 to drop the Twin-cannon on the board thanks to this guy. So Soulswap, CVH explained it in his video why this card's so good, and I believe it's actually banned in the Japanese meta. So you swap 1 creature in your battle zone with a card in your mana zone, but when you do that, you have to have that amount of mana in order to summon that creature. So say I have Bronze Arm Tribe on the field, and I have 6 mana down, activate Soulswap, put the Bronze Arm Tribe in my mana. Now I have 7 mana total, so I can bring out any creature in my mana zone that has the cost of 7 or less, which can be my Twin-cannon. So at 6 mana, you can bring out Twin-cannon pretty much especially with all the Excel and everything. You can have a Twin-cannon on the board turn 4. So, Soulswap, excellent card. Adds so much synergy to the deck that it wouldn't have otherwise. And one of the main reasons Aggro is such a formidable deck type. And that's it for nature. The last 2 cards in the deck are 4 Gontas and 4 Windex. Gonta provides another 2-drop, and with 4,000 power, it's really hard to get rid of early in the game. Puts a lot of pressure on the opponent who's trying to deal with you not getting through their shields and killing their creatures, and Gonta just runs all over that, gets past all the 2-drop blockers like Zephyrfish and all that. His really only foe is Bloody Squeeto, but that's where Windex comes in. Windex is 5 mana, Fire Nature, Dual-Civ as well, and when you put him into the battle zone, you put the top card of your deck into your mana zone and destroy 1 blocker on the field. I mean, this card pretty much defines aggro. Mana excel and killing blockers that normally get in the way of your speed attackers and anything else that would be trying to get through to the opponent's shields. So, these 2 guys, huge, huge, huge. Aggro really wouldn't be what it is today without these guys. They provide so much synergy and consistency to the deck. So yeah, that's pretty much the aggro deck. It drops creatures really fast. You know, it has its little setup. The idea is that you want to go Gonta, Bronze Arm Tribe, Windex, Twin-cannon, and then if you can't do that, you've got cards like Aqua Hulcus and Stream to help you with your hand. You've got all your little mini 2-drops, and then Zephyrfish for your game-winning condition, no matter what's going on. So, let me know what you think, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Leave a like as well. And pretty much just rate, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. There are some totals in this deck that I want to play around with. There are some other cards, such as Scarlet Skyterror and Rikaboo the Dismantler, that I think I want to incorporate into this just to help me with the breaking the shields as fast as possible to make it so Zephyrfish can swing for game when it does. So, yeah guys, let me know what you think. Peace.